We're talking conservation. This is Don Wick from the Red River Farm Network. This podcast is a collaboration from the Farmers for Soil Health, the Conservation Technology Information Center, and the Minnesota Soybean Growers Association. I'm Don Wick, as mentioned, and our guest is the Executive Director for the Minnesota Soil Health Coalition, Mark Gutierrez. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Well, let's start by way of introduction. Educate me a bit about the coalition and your own background as well, Mark.
Yeah, well, I grew up out in New Mexico on a farm. Went to school for ag business and ag economics, and then got out of college and worked for USDA for the next 15 years in statistics and crop insurance. And now I'm here working for the Minnesota Soil Health Coalition.
And the Soil Health Coalition, how long has that group been around, and how did it come together?
Yeah, it's really a great story. The coalition was founded in 2019, and basically was about 120, 130 farmers got together to start the coalition, and they really wanted to have a place where farmers could turn to for health and advice and experience on soil health practices. And so they formed that coalition, and I came on with them a year later. And we've grown the organization to just over 1,000 members. We have a mentor network, which I think is really the highlight of the coalition, of over 45 farmers who are experienced in these practices and making them work on their farm, both yield-wise and economic-wise, which is the important part. And they're willing to give advice and share their knowledge with farmers for free. So it's a really great opportunity to connect with a mentor.
We'll talk more about that in a bit, but the growth that you guys have seen in just a very short period of time is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really has been fantastic. I think that really speaks to the need for information and farmer-to-farmer relationships on soil health.
It really took some foresight, I think, to pull something like this together. What kind of things do folks get out of being a part of this coalition?
Yeah, well, so we are a member organization. We are managed by 7 board members who are all farmers across the state of Minnesota, truly farmer-led and farmer-driven, and membership is $25 a year, and we put out a monthly newsletter that has lots of information about cost share opportunities, soil health practices, and educational events. And we host somewhere between 50 and 70 educational events a year, most of them on farm, although some of them are winter events as well. And really give farmers the opportunity to come see these practices in action, talk to somebody who's doing them, and figure out how to then take that back to their own farm.
That mentorship you talked about, that really kind of fits into that whole mission. Explain the mentorship program. How does it work?
Absolutely. It's a free program. Farmers sometimes they come to these field days and they meet mentors through that. If they're members, they can go online and look through the list and reach out to somebody directly. They get a little bit of background. They get to see what kind of practices these farmers are implementing, and they can kind of contact them directly, or they can send emails to me or call me, and usually that involves a little bit of just discussing what their goals are and what their current system is, and then I try to pair them with a mentor who's close by who has a similar system. I
just think about whether it's dealing with cover crops or, what we're going to be doing as far as maybe with equipment, dealing with a new tillage type of thing. Hearing it from another farmer, that's really got to be important.
I absolutely think it is. Nobody can speak to modifying equipment to, make sure that you get good seed-soil contact better than another farmer. So,
yeah,
I agree.
No doubt. Now, you had your premier soil health event in Mankato earlier this month. Sounds like it was a very successful event.
Yes, sir. It was a great event. We had a lot of fun. We had about 330 attendees. Most of them were farmers, so that was pretty exciting. We got an opportunity to present the first Minnesota Leopold Conservation Award, and we had board elections, so we elected 3 new board members. And one of the other exciting things was we were able to get some regenerative raised Minnesota food on the menu. So we had, beef, jerky sticks, meatballs, and rice, all regenerative raised. So it was kind of fun just to get to really, support farmers and bring those products for us to try.
Now, tell me about the Leopold winners. They were out of Redwood County?
Yes, sir. That's Grant and Don Breitkreitz, farm out of Redwood County, and have been doing soil health practices for a long time. Truly deserving. They do a lot for other farmers across the state, serving on the Minnesota Cattlemen's Board and serving to help the Minnesota Soil Health Coalition and many other things that they're involved in. True stewards of the land and pillars of the community.
I've been in this business for a long time, and I've heard about this Aldo Leopold Award. I know it's very well revered, but a first in Minnesota. How did this come together, and what does this award signify?
Yeah, really a great opportunity for farmers in Minnesota. One of my favorite parts is it comes with a $10,000 cash prize for the winner. They get to use that on anything they want, and we know that can mean a lot to people. And I think it's a really prestigious award. If you've seen it ever given across the country, it's not in every state. But in order to bring it to a state, you've got to have an organization willing to house it, do the work on it, and then, of course, find the funding in order to make it a perpetual thing going on. So we were able to do that here in Minnesota, bring it here. And my other favorite part about it is there's a video made of the winner. And what a powerful story it tells. They do a great job putting that video together, and it will get about 4 million hits. It'll be spread far and wide and really draw a spotlight to soil health.
Fantastic. Where can folks find that video?
That video will be posted to our website very soon. It's out on our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram accounts right now, and our YouTube channel. And our website is mnsoilhealth.org.
Again, that Leopold Award, very prestigious. Who were some of the other speakers you had at the program?
We had some really great speakers. We had Ray Archuleta, Johnny Hunter, John Kempf, and many other local farmers and agronomists from Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So,
some big names. I think Ray Archuleta, and we're talking soil health. It's kind of the big guru. Others as well.
Yep.
I also think, at least when I go to meetings like that, I get a lot of the best information in the hallway. That's got to be a big part of this as well.
You're absolutely right. That was one of from last year's feedback that we really tried to implement was a little bit more break time, a little bit longer lunch, some specific exhibitor time. So we really put that together in the programming, and I think that is a big part of it. You get to come and talk with farmers all over the state, share ideas, hear what they're doing, and build those connections. Sometimes that might mean you find a buyer for something or a seller of something you need, or maybe some equipment or somebody to do some custom work for you. All kinds of advantages come from getting together and networking.
So plans already coming together for 2025?
Yes, sir. We've started on putting the list together for our dream list of speakers, and we know we're going to have it in the same place at the same time. So we're working on it already.
I want to circle back to that Leopold Award. You talked about the folks that help fund it to make that a perpetual type of thing. Who steps up and becomes a part of that?
Absolutely. It could not be done without great partners, and we're lucky to have a group like the Minnesota Corn Growers Association, Minnesota Soybean Association, willing to step up and partner on that. They know how important it is for their members. NRCS is a great partner, folks. I don't have a complete list, so I hate to name some sponsors without naming them all. But General Mills, lots of Renovo Seeds, lots of other folks here, private industry, public industry, and nonprofits like the Nature Conservancy. Other groups like that have stepped up to make the Leopold Award happen.
Your coalition also partners with Farmers for Soil Health. Tell me about that collaboration.
Yeah, that's we're lucky to get to be a part of that. It's a great program. It's a national program led by Soy Checkoff, Pork Checkoff, and National Corn Growers, and it's a cost share opportunity that's pretty simple. It's $50 an acre for new cover crops, with $2 an acre for existing cover crops. You get to work with some cover crop coaches. So yeah, it's kind of like our mentor network. One of them is Myron Silling, who's one of our newest board members. And I think the best part is it's not too late to enroll, even though we're at the end of the year. You have all the way till February 28th to sign up for 2024 payments. So great opportunity for guys to get some additional cost share.
Wow. That with the calendar looking at us, it's nice to know that we've got a little bit of time back for 2024 there.
Yeah, exactly. Gives sometimes things like that can slip through the cracks when you're really focused on harvesting and getting your equipment taken care of. And so having that little extra time, I think, is a nice part of the program.
There's so many of these practices that farmers are already doing and have adopted. It's nice now to finally maybe see another revenue source, particularly with the commodity prices where they're at today.
Absolutely. I think this cost share that is, a public-private partnership. We have cost shares funded by NRCS and the federal government and the state government, county government, but we also have some cost share programs available to farmers funded by private industry. And I think that really, those two combined hand in hand, supporting farmers on this transition, helping reduce that risk, that's a really important aspect of it.
There's so many, both from the private sector and the public sector, opportunities, perhaps maybe some of the different climate programs that we're working with today. How do you tell a landowner, a farmer, to how do you maneuver through all this and find out what works best for you?
Yeah, that can be a challenge with all these opportunities. There is a great new tool out there that CTIC, that's the Conservation Technology Information Center out of Iowa, has put together called the Conservation Connector, and that can be found at connector.org. It's a free resource for farmers to go in. It's got a basic form for them to kind of fill out some, what county area they're in, what year they're looking for, what crops do they grow, and it spits out a cost share options that might be available to them. And then they can kind of start to look and see what's there, figure out if something is stackable. I recommend people call their local soil and water offices or reach out to us at the coalition. We can help walk them through it. It's going to involve what are their goals, what are they trying to accomplish, what's their system look like, and we can try to help them find the best cost share options.
We're looking in at the end of a year into a new year. We always make resolutions, make goals, plans for a new year. What a perfect time to be really penciling in some of these soil health type of goals and plans for 2025.
Absolutely. It is a great time to start figuring out, do you want to interseed? Are you going to do fall seeded cover crops? Definitely a good time to figure that out and check out some winter meetings and kind of learn about it and get paired with a mentor now and get ahead of it.
So where can folks find more information? We had a list of meetings. How do they sign up for your coalition itself?
Yeah, we right at our website at mnsoilhealth.org. You can sign up to be a member there. We have a calendar of events that we are starting to fill in right now for 2025. We've got a little information on cost share, of course, information on the Leopold Award, and a spot to access mentors. It's a really good resource for people to check out if you want to figure out how to implement a practice on your farm.
Phenomenal. Great information. Any final thoughts for us, Mark?
Final thoughts, I would say the other exciting event that we have coming up will be in July, late July, the Soil Health School. It's a 2-day in-depth, hands-on training opportunity to come out. And if you're looking for something more advanced than a field day and you've been to some of those and you want that next level, it's a great chance, and we're working on a great program for that right now.
Where will that be held, Mark?
We have not locked down the dates or location quite yet, but we hold it on farm, and be looking for it because I promise it'll be worth the money.
Oh, great stuff. Appreciate the chance to connect with you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, take care. Merry Christmas.
You bet. Mark Gutierrez is with us, Executive Director of the Minnesota Soil Health Coalition, and that's our podcast this go-around, Talking Conservation, of course, made possible by the Conservation Technology Information Center, Minnesota Soybean Growers Association, and Farmers for Soil Health. With the Red River Farm Network, I'm Don Wick.